recruiting vassals and raiding the armory. That's right, it's the Rune Lords from Red Djinn Productions. The Rune Lords, based in the world of the hit fantasy series by David Farland, is divided into two sections. The Sovereignty stage, where players create their decks of assets, and the Combat stage, where they duke it out in battle scenarios. We're reviewing the Sovereignty stage today, and we'll play the Combat stage in our episode of Game the Game. Setup for Sovereignty begins with each player choosing a Rune Lord and color. They then take a player dashboard, their matching Rune Lord ability card, the Rune Lord standee, and their starting deck of cards. 1 Rune Lord, 3 generals, and 6 vassals. These are selected based on the Rune Lord and listed in the rulebook. Each player also takes 6 support cards, 12 reinforcement cards, and a number of equipment tokens shown on the Rune Lord's ability card. Randomly assign the first player token to 1 Rune Lord. Next, place the market board center. Shuffle all of the support cards from all Rune Lords in play into a single market deck and place it above the support icon. Do the same with the reinforcement cards above the reinforcement icon. Shuffle all the vassals into a single deck and place it above the new vassals slot on the top left. Take the equipment pouches and place them next to their matching icons. Place a marker on the economy track. Shuffle all Sovereignty cards into a face-down deck and place it on the left of the board. Then draw 2 Sovereignty cards per destination. There are 3 destinations in the game: Kingdom, Village, and the Wilds. Next, draw reinforcement cards from the deck into each of the 6 open slots below. This area is known as the market. If a revealed card has any white equipment icons on its lower bar, add the corresponding equipment tokens face down on top of the card. Repeat this process for the support and new vassals market decks as well. Create a supply of influence nearby. Place 2 equipment tokens from the traveling gear bag face up onto each of the 6 open spaces below. Shuffle the encounter cards into a face-down deck and place it next to the encounters tab. Place the 12 setback cards face up in a stack next to the setbacks tab. Finally, place the story tracker on the first turn of the season track. Gameplay occurs in rounds, each divided into 5 phases: management, journey, influence, purchase, and end phase. First, in the management step, the players advance the story marker on the season track 1 space. The player with the first player token then rolls the utility die and sets the economy track to the result. Players then draw and reveal 5 cards from their deck. At any time when drawing cards, if their deck is depleted, they shuffle their exhausted pile into a new draw deck. Just like most deck builders. Before the journey step, each player may endow by placing any number of vassals from their hand into their Dedicate's Keep. These will allow players to increase their Rune Lord's power before the combat section of the game. Finally, trigger any ongoing effects from cards or quests. Next, in the journey step, in turn order, the active player chooses a destination and places their Rune Lord on an unoccupied region within, immediately triggering any effects listed. A Rune Lord cannot be placed in the same region on the next turn, but may stay in the same destination. However, if they stay in the same destination, they must take a setback card into their exhaust pile. Triggering effects include Sovereignty, which allows a player to choose one of the 2 Sovereignty cards in the destination to recruit to their side. If the card has a perform immediately action, carry it out. Otherwise, it's placed in the player's armory for later use. After taking a card, the active player must draw and resolve an encounter. Recruit Vassals allows a player to recruit all vassals of that destination's type located on the bottom of the vassal card from the vassal market. First player allows a player to take the first player token at the end phase. If multiple players take this region in other destinations, an influence bid occurs during the end phase. More on that in a sec. Next, in the influence step, players discard cards into their exhaust piles and take influence based on the number located on the top right of the card. Next, in the purchase step, in turn order, players use their influence to purchase cards. To buy support or reinforcements, players spend influence equal to the tier's current market value. Each card has a tier 1 through 4. If a player chooses to buy more than one card, they must also add a setback to their deck for each card after the first. All cards acquired here go into a player's exhausted pile. To purchase vassals, the player takes a setback card and draws a vassal randomly from the vassal deck, not the vassal market. To purchase equipment from that destination, players spend 2 influence for each piece of traveling gear or pay the market value on the economy track for armor or weapons. Players can also sell their equipment tokens for the economy value back to the destination. Additionally, once per turn, the player may recruit a setback card to restock a destination's inventory with new gear, or replace an available sovereignty card at that destination with new cards from the sovereignty deck. Finally, in the end phase, players remove all expiration counters from all active sources, replenish equipment, vassals, and recruits wherever there is an end phase icon on the sovereignty market. Resolve any ongoing active abilities, and then bid on the first player token using influence. Any players on the first player token space may bid influence, and the winner takes the token for the next round. Rounds continue until the 12th round is complete. Move on to intermission and combat. And that's the sovereignty stage of the Rune Lords. I'm Becca Scott, and I'm maxed out on wit, brawn, and glamour. You can watch me and my friends play this game and other awesome games on Game the Game right here on Geek and Sundry. We'll see you there. We better see you there.